Hello and welcome to today's update video. It's a beautiful day outside, so I've decided to come inside and make a YouTube video and draw comics instead, because outside is terrible. My eyes are bloodshot because I have got sun cream in them, which may, on reflection, affect what I draw. We'll see. Just before I get into the actual drawing bit, thank you to everyone who watched the previous video and left comments and subscribed and stuff. Thank you. I like it. I was supposed to say I appreciate it, but I said I like it. Right, so what I decided to do today is draw a new page from Explosive Sweet Freeze Erasers from a series that I haven't got any ideas other than visual themes. Which I'll sort of touch on as I'm drawing. And if you stay interested, then you'll see the actual story develop as I make it. Right, I won't waffle on too much. I will do the drawing and then come back to you in a few. Come back to you in a few moments. Also, I'm gonna just not pretend that I'm going to edit this properly. I'll take any videos I make and put them one after another, and that's it. I haven't got the time or patience to make this proper. That's it. Okay, drawing. Okay, so what I thought I'd do today is another page from Explosive Sweet Freeze Erasers. But it's not from an idea that I've got at the moment. So I've got some ideas written down, but I don't know which of those I'm going to pursue yet. So I'm halfway through the sort of Thunderstrike thing that I was doing, and I'm part of the way through some other bits. But the other night I scanned a load of pages, and as I was doing it, I came across there's a couple of pages like this, which I'd made by photocopying the back of paintings where the ink had soaked through and then drawing over the top of them. And just thought it might be quite interesting to do some more of those because I think they look really nice and they're not as heavy-handed as the other work I do. There's something a bit lighter and sparser about them. So I photocopied onto rather than using new paper, I went through discarded paper that we got. So we've got the print. What's the word I'm looking for? It's the configuration page. So I got printed. So I did some of those. I don't know if I'll use them yet. And then printed these on the back of some discarded homework. This is some notes. So yeah, so I've got this like sort of light painted texture, but I've got 2 or 3 of them each, and so I'm going to use some of these. And I'll just put this away carefully on the floor, and I'll put this over here somewhere, probably on the floor as well. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to start by drawing a panel grid on it. I find what I think is going to work best with these is to do a very simple panel layout, and so for inspiration, just go to the go-to, which is Ditko's Spider-Man, and I'll just sort of choose one random. Hopefully, it's not going to be rubbish. So we've got a 6-panel grid or this cool 7-panel grid. I'll probably do this one. So I'm going to recreate this. I'm not going to do the figures, literally just the panel layout, and then I'll see what I've got left after that. Right, so all I've done so far is put the panel layout in with this stubby little blue pencil, and then I'll go over it with this black Unipin brush, because it's got quite a nice line. Although I do use these up pretty quickly, so I should probably find something else to use. Right, so I won't show you all of this because it's the boring part, laying panels out, but and you get the idea of that. Right, so I've drawn that panel layout now. Oh, So what I want to do now is sort of recreate some of the effects that I had here. So what I always do, and I'm not kicking over the bloody camera stand, excuse me. Right, so is that I try and relearn what I did before, because I can't actually remember doing this. So I'm just having a look to see what sort of pens I would have used. So up here you can see those lines would have been made with the Unipin brush pen. These bigger black areas here, they were either on there already, which I don't think they were, which means they were probably put on with Pentel pocket brush. Obviously highlighter pens, that's clear enough. And then there's also some areas where I would have used a smaller nibbed fine liner, possibly a Unipin 4 or a Unipin 2, hopefully a 2, because I think I've ruined all the 4s. So I'm going to start with that, and what I'll start with is the brush pen. Move all this stuff about, and I never think too much about it, but where would be an interesting place to put some pen, basically. I don't know if you can make it out, but I don't actually do a very good job with some of these panels. They're a bit rubbish. So I'm going to take this opportunity to fill in the gaps, but not get carried away, because this pen's so fun to use. It's easy to just like use it and use it and use it and use it. And then look up and you've coloured in a whole page with black. So I'm just going to be quite sparse with this. It's got a big black area in it as well already. Hello.
Hi.
You're right. I'm
bored.
You're bored?
Yeah. Wait, are you videoing?
I'm videoing for YouTube, yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. Okay. Right, so she's bored. Right, so that's a bit. Just referring back to this one, this had larger black areas of black here and here. And this one is still not quite. I don't want to just copy it, but I want to get a similar amount of contrast in. And so looking at this panel is the problem. And I'm either going to put some stuff up here or some stuff down here. I think what I'm going to do is sort of make a circular energy here by putting sort of a thicker area there. That's all right. And then maybe just a line from the top here to suggest that this universe exists beyond the panels. That's all right. The other thing I've got to be conscious of is that because I've got these areas here outside, to not include them, because I'm gonna go back over them with white pen just to clean up the page afterwards. Right, so the next stage is to put some lines down in brush pen. And so these pens are brilliant. I just really enjoy using them. They create such a nice line. Either a really thin one if you're careful, or you can push down a bit to get some things. But I want to try and concentrate on the rather than the process of drawing. I want to concentrate on what I am drawing. So I'll stop demonstrating the line style and just sort of go for it a little bit. Right, I'll come back to you in a minute once I've done some. Okay, so I've been through with the brush pen. I wasn't really feeling it, to be honest. I was trying my best to sort of get into it, but no. And then I forced it a bit here and had to cover over some rubbish lines I did. So hopefully the next step will sort of make it come to life a bit quicker. So I'm going to start with pink and put some of this in, not very much. again, because I don't want to overdo it. So just a few areas here and there. And just try and make this come to life a bit. A little line bit in there. Although I don't remember doing those previous pages, I do seem to remember feeling some sort of joy of discovery in doing them. That as I was putting lines down, I was thinking, oh yeah, that's good. I'm enjoying this, and I'm not feeling it so far. Yeah, I haven't been. It's not as if I've been working on this for very long, and that feeling might come back. So I'm just trying to capture something worthwhile here. Right, so that's a bit of pink down. I'm going to use a little bit of purple highlighter because we've got this big dark purple area here, and it's only replicated in a few places in bits and pieces. So I'm going to put some purple down just to... And when it scans, the printer will see these as sort of the same colour. It's not going to differentiate between them too much. What's quite ironic is that the panel layout I stole was, I think, if I remember correctly, was Mysterio, and I'm just using green and purple, which is Mysterio colours, and I wasn't set out to do that. So that's a bit of that, and then this colour, which is my absolute favourite colour, which means that this pen is at the end of its life. Let's put some of this in, and give it a bit of a sweep there. I can't help thinking of this shape as some sort of personality, which I sometimes do with these shapes as they sort of appear on the page. You sort of think of them as some sort of... it's going to sound weird, but I may as well carry on. Some sort of judge figure. And nothing else has really got too much of a distinct personality. That's what I'm seeing there, probably from reading too much. I'm just reading too much. Right, so keep on putting this down a little bit and being careful of not getting carried away with it, but also trying to make sure that where I've got some pink or some purple highlighter, that some of this goes next to it, just to keep the composition intact. So now I'm going to go and put some fine lines, sort of very small lines down with this, and this one looks a bit too tired. That one is probably too... Oh, that one's a bit better, right. But this might take a while because... obviously the line's smaller, so, and yeah, that wasn't a sentence, I apologise. Because the nib is small, it takes more time obviously to fill up some of the page, so still being wary of not overdoing it and not making shapes which are too bold, because this has sort of come into its own now. It was the highlighter that made the difference. If I do another one of these, I should probably maybe put the highlighter down first and then work the other pens in around it. And so just putting these shapes down. I've stopped. I used to use these all the time. I used to use them very carefully. I haven't got any examples sat around me at the moment. But I'm not thinking too much about using them like that anymore. Right, I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so I think I'm almost done with this. I actually reverted back to using this brush pen again because I just felt it needed some of it, and I think the last few touches I need to do, I need to put something going in here, so it's either going to be that or it's going to be straight. I think I'm going to do it straight down from there. Like that, quite a nice curve, and then fill some of that in with some shapes off this. And put a barb on that. Nope. Balls. No, it felt like a good idea until I did it. And then I was like, oh no, that doesn't look good. So now I have to try and fix it by working some extra body up here. Just to change what this is. Okay, right, so there's two more little things to do with this, and then I think it's finished. Again, the whole point of this is to not overwork the page. It's to let it breathe a bit. Although as I look over to this one, which I'm using as a reference, it is quite a lot busier than what I'm doing now. So I am going, although it looks right, I'm going to have to just do some stuff entirely by instinct. And when I say instinct, where my hand ends, just to create some more context. Is that the right word? Just to create some more body for me to work with, just so that I can get the same density, basically. I do like this panel being very empty though, so although it does need a bit of movement down here. This one, yeah, that's about right. And up here, this is the big mass, so I'm gonna work into this a bit more and maybe even put some more colour down. Going up there, and then I couldn't find the pen I wanted. Put some purple up here, and then work that shape around a bit. Sorry, I'm a bit excited now. It's found that discovery phase where things are working a bit better. I don't normally like overlapping lines, so, and I put some in there by accident, so I've covered them over. I like drawing circles, but you've got to be careful where you put them so they don't accidentally look like eyes, because that's not what I'm not going for. I'm not intentionally going to draw faces into this. That's not the point. And that accidentally looks like a big smiley face. I actually have to get rid of that circle, which I quite liked. This looks like a bloody bird. I don't know if you can hear next time my son's watching YouTube and giggling. It's quite, it's not unpleasant. Okay, so there's some more to work with now. I'll go back to the fine liner and be back in a moment. Right, so I've been through, I've added more white in, and the last step in this instance is there's two steps. One is to just dirty up the white areas a little bit. So one of the things which works here is that there's been other bleed through of lines and stuff here. So you couldn't see that, sorry. So I'm just going to sort of replicate some of that by very gingerly dragging these shapes out. I'm just putting some sort of, as though this was some sort of liquid with dirt in it. That's the, I've not thought of it before like that, but that's the effect that I'm going for. And then the last step, just do this quickly, it doesn't need to be overly complicated, is to do the really boring part, which is to clean up the white page. So I'm just shaking up a white Posca marker, and I'll just drag the edge of that through the gutters where there's colour there, just to tidy it all up. Obviously, but then it's not designed to cover up. Inkjet. Right, I think. Piss off. So I'm just talking to the line there. That'll do, I think. So that's my new page from an unknown part of Explosive Sweet Freezer Razors. There's no way. I'll just turn on the side. Ta-da! Hello, and thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. Pretty happy with how it went. Got a new page of art out. In some respects, I was playing it safe because I'm used to doing that stuff. Obviously, in the last video, there's a lot of mess and a lot of mistakes. And in this one, I sort of was in control. So it's different. If there's any other part of my process that you're interested in seeing or me talking about, or if there's anything else in particular that you want me to talk about or talk to, let me know in the comments or by email. I can be contacted, gareth@gerthink.com. Gerthink is spelled G-R-T-H-I-N-K. Gareth is spelled G-A-R-E-T-H. @ is spelled that funny little squiggle sign, and .com is full stop and then C-O-M. Altogether, that spells Gareth@gerthink.com. Yeah, so thanks again for watching this far. Like if you want, and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, we're still in coronavirus lockdown territory, so buying stuff from my big cartel shop is a gamble because I don't know when I'm going to get to the post office, because we're not leaving the house at all. But some of my comics are available on Comixology. If you go into Comixology and search for Gareth A. Hopkins, nothing is definitely there. And I think this coming Wednesday, Bones of the Sea and what's the other one? Bones of the Sea and Intercoastal Extension will be going up, which are both quite different. And pretty soon I'll be putting Petrichor up on Comixology and Comic House as well. So keep an eye out for them. Thanks again. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you like this or don't like it, or if there's anything else you want to see in the comments. And I'll see you around. Cheers. And I'll put that in there.